Don't think that it's any secret that the venue world is growing quickly, and with that comes a lot of competition. And honestly, most venue owners and managers that I meet tend to tour potential clients the exact same way. They meet the individual, ask a quick question about their potential event date and how many guests they would like to have, and they proceed to walk them through the space and ask if the prospect has any questions. And I don't know about you, but there is oftentimes that weird, awkward silence where you're walking from one area to the next, and it's just completely weird and quiet, and it makes everybody uncomfortable. But what also happens when you tour this way is you're creating a very, very even playing field between yourself and the rest of the competition. The potential client may really like the look of your space versus another, and maybe the competition is just a little bit cheaper. But because that individual doesn't have anything other than the price to compare between you and the competition, they'll often go with the cheaper option, even though that cheaper option probably does not offer them the best customer service, the best communication, and probably what your venue has to offer that they really need. What this can do is it creates this brutal cycle where owners are competing solely on price, which ends up only resulting declining profit and desperate owners and managers. However, if you focus on the 4 following areas, you can create a venue experience that completely outperforms your competition. So then when your prospect client is comparing you to the person down the street, even if you are a bit more expensive, they will think about how much value you gave to them and about the fantastic experience. And they're going to be more likely to pick you. First thing you need to think about is what your client sees. Now, I'm sure that your space is beautiful. Most venue owners don't get into this without thinking deeply about what the space looks like. But if you can personalize the visual experience and particularly make the entrance an impactful one, you are going to stand out. What I would suggest, have a statement floral arrangement and some type of personalized signage that welcomes your guests into the space. You see these big floral arrangements at most 5-star hotels. And you want to make sure that the signage is something that you can swap out easily as you have different guests come through. But making that effort to welcome the tour guest personally goes a really long way. Next thing to think about is the way that your space smells. And smelling clean does not make the same impression as smelling beautiful. When you intentionally make your space smell like an aroma that's unique and luxurious, your guests will remember you, and scientifically, it will put them in a better mood. So how I would recommend that you do this is scent your space with an aroma that you think fits your branding. Please avoid anything that might smell like a restroom. You can do so in whatever way that you think fits best. You could use plugins, diffusers, room sprays, any of it. It makes a positive impression. Another area that you really need to think about is, of course, what your clients hear when they walk into your space. I like to say that silence is never golden when it comes to an appointment. Having an ambient music choice playing when they walk in helps invest in the mood that you're trying to create. My recommendation is just to avoid anything with lyrics, because this can very unintentionally turn awkward. Real example of this, I don't always just work with venues, and we had a client that was a family doctor, and he put music on his speakers that he thought was appropriate. It did have lyrics while this doctor was giving a pap smear. When the lyrics turned a little bit racy, and needless to say, they ended up calling us and asking how they could implement a music solution that didn't include any lyrics. How you can implement this in your space by simply putting a Bluetooth speaker, or if you already have a sound system in the space, ensure that there's some pleasant instrumental music playing as your guests walk in. Last, I want to talk about figuring out how you can implement taste into your tour experience. The number one way that I think you can do this is simply by offering a refreshment when your guests arrive. I think it's even better if you have it ready for them as soon as they walk in the door. It actually plays into the impact that endorphins have. Also displays your hospitality skill. It helps put your guests at ease. So what you need to do is decide what you want to offer your guests. It could be something as easy as coffee, sparkling water, or a juice, whatever feels right to you. And when guests have something in their hands, it creates subliminal comfort. When they taste something, it releases happy chemicals in the brain. This makes a bigger impact on their impression of you. I cannot tell you how many gorgeous venues I have been to where the experience was just completely lackluster. And I can tell you, no matter how beautiful the building is, the sensory experience will make a bigger impact when it comes to their decision making. I hope this was helpful. Go ahead and follow me if you'd love more sales tips on how to make your venue more money.